The two guests I have this morning, they are right dead center in the heart of everything here. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation is here along with the PRO of that organization. Ladies first, they say, so let me welcome Roxanne Ramnath. Roxanne, a very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Rennie.
Okay, now that we had the blessings of your president to say good morning to you first, Mr. President, Robert Faria, good morning to you. How are you?
Very good morning to you. I'm fine, thank you.
It is good to have you this morning. So cycling is what we're going to start with this morning because this year you have another year that we're going into the cycling presentation. Tell our listeners about the presentation and then we'll get into the federation and what is happening there.
Yeah, well, we have been hosting a few championships and we have been taking it from different levels. Last year we started with a junior Pan American track championship. And this is all in keeping with the new facility that we have in Couva, the new cycling velodrome, which is state of the art. That's something that we have been waiting for in this country for over 25 years. So we are at the federation is actually putting it to good use. We had a very successful championship then in August, this around the same time last year, a junior championship. So we're growing. We what I call we're creeping, and then we're going to start a walk, and then hopefully we'll run. So we had another championship in Easter. I think we were the same program, presenting that to the nation. That by itself was awesome, man. Awesome. We actually had 2,500 people in the facility, all packed out, cheering for Trinidad and Tobago. It was poor reason.
I'm happy to hear that because, unfortunately, for those who were laughing a while ago when I said it was a long time I cycled, I've been away for 30 years. Stop it. But the last time, when we were talking about the era of Roger and Leslie King, there was the rivalry between two really great, good cyclists.
Yes.
But there was an all-encompassing, it kind of brought the entire nation together and everybody was excited about it. So when I ask you for the state of cycling now, I meant, you mentioned 2,500 people. I remember at the time the whole nation was involved in it, but are you feeling that excitement creeping back in?
Of course.
It never died. It never died.
It never died.
It never died. Because we have cyclists and we have champions all the time. And right now we have people backing up the one cyclist, Justine Phillips. And he has a name almost like the Roger Gibbon. And then we have a young cyclist that's coming up. And people are even looking for his performance for this Elite Pan Am Championships. And that is because he was successful in the Junior Pan Am, bringing a gold medal at the sprint event. So there's still excitement in the cycling arena.
Fantastic. We're talking about the Elite Pan American Track Championship that's coming up 2017. And I know I'm going to get a whole lot of jokes about that revelation earlier, but let's leave that alone. Mr. President, let me get back to you. That is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation, Robert Faria. Robert, let's talk about the disciplines handled by your team, because when you hear cycling, folks think cycling is the begin all and end all of what you do. Tell us exactly what happens at the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation.
Oh, definitely not. Our cycling disciplines range from track cycling, which is what the championship we have in Couva at the end of this month, and then we have the road aspect of it, where you see a lot of these cyclists riding up and down the roadway, and I urge the nation's drivers to give them a little bit of respect when you see the cyclists in the road. And then there's the other side where we go into the more through the trails and have the mountain bike. We have those championships also. And we have been going to add a new aspect of cycling, which is freestyle BMX. We're actually going to be closing the program at our track championships with a demonstration from Jonathan Camacho from Ecuador, who's a world champion in freestyle BMX. So we're going to bring down the curtains at our Elite Track Championship with Jonathan Camacho doing a demonstration for us.
So there's BMX, one area, paracycling, cyclocross, and indoor cycling, all these things. Explain.
Well, right now, those that I explained earlier is the ones that we actually have, we're promoting at the moment.
But you've got some things coming up soon.
Correct.
All right, let me take it across to your PRO just for a moment. Roxanne, I want to find out how many clubs and cyclists are registered with the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation.
Presently we have about 20 clubs registered in the Cycling Federation, and from all locations of the country. So you have in South, we have Central, we have in East and West. So it's well populated in the country with clubs for anyone who wants to join and get involved in cycling, yes, they feel free to communicate with any member of the Cycling Federation, and we can assign them to a club that is close to their environment, to their home.
I'm happy to see that you've got a young and energetic looking president, because at the end of the day, we've got a lot of, I take the compliment and leave it alone. at the end of the day, that is something that I think has a major social impact. The fact of offering kids a place to channel their energy, and cycling is no exception. But it does raise the question also about female cyclists, because I see a lot of female cyclists who are getting involved. This hitherto, I don't think the enthusiasm was there. Tell me about that, either one of you.
Yeah, well, that is something that we actually going to be focusing on in our next, our next projects after this elite championship, because we find that we still need to be growing that aspect of the sport.
Okay.
And what we see, that the opportunity at that level in terms of female cycling is a bigger opportunity. It's probably actually easier to qualify for the Olympics as a female cyclist.
Really?
That being said, for the first time, we're going to be having a female team pursuit at our championship representing Trinidad and Tobago. And we actually have Alex Bovell, the sister of George Bovell III, our Olympic swimmer, who was selected to represent Trinidad and Tobago on our cycling team at the championship. All right, and we have 5 other ladies that is going to be there representing us. So we're going to be having full representation at the elite championship.
I keep teasing them about this. Let's get straight to the event first, and then I have some other questions about the organization and the appeal generally. Now it's interacting with the young citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's talk about the event that's coming up. This big, what is it called? It's called the Elite Pan American Track Championship. Tell me about it.
Well, this Elite Pan Championships is going to be held on the 30th of August, going straight to the 3rd of September. And the event is attracting over 200 cyclists. We have over 20 countries participating. I can name some of the countries for you. We have Venezuela, Barbados, Canada, USA, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba. That's just some of the named countries that have already sent in their applications and going to be here. Actually, our first team is going to be arriving on Monday, which is the Argentinian team, and that's a big contingent. They're coming in on Monday, so it's going to be a great show. And apart from that, we have 2 sessions each day on the morning period, from 10 to midday, and those sessions will be free. And in the evening, we have and those sessions in the morning would be qualifying sessions. So in the evening, the events would be the finals of all the qualifiers, and those will be, and that will be from 5 in the evening. We have an admission free in the morning, free to the public, and the afternoon sessions are $50. Any person under the age of 65, the fee is $50.
All right, this is taking place at Balmain, Cuba.
All
right, and one of the things that it would be useful now, because I want everybody to have access to this event, come and support, because you've got some names coming down from the United States, Colombia, and Mexico, which I'm gonna go and tell us about those international.
Yes, we have a big team coming from the USA, and also there's a USA women's team pursuit that will be coming to challenge our female team pursuiters, and the female team pursuiter is the 2016 and the 2017 world champion team. They will be here. One of the favorites in that team is Chloe Daggett. She is one of the team pursuiters, and she's a silver medalist at the 2016 Rio Olympics, and she will be present at there. And then we have the Jessica Salazar. Now, you see, I'm naming some of the females because we just talked about the rising of the female aspect of the...
Jessica's from Mexico,
She's from Mexico. So she's also going to be here. Her pet event is the sprint event. And so she's going to be featuring also. And apart from that, we have the male aspect. Some of our champions coming in from from Colombia. From Colombia, we have Fabian Puerta. He's also a Keirin and a sprint champion, and his presence is also going to be filling popularity at the event.
30th August until the 3rd of September. It's taking place in Balmain, Couva, and it's the Elite Pan American Track Championship 2017. Oh, by the way, the guys who are interested in doing the ladies' pursuit, you've got to be riding. I just thought I'd mention that. I just let me go back to the president here. Mr. President, I want to go into the area of sponsorship. I want to go into the area of corporate sponsorship. Because I find that really important. I look through your information there and I see that the National Lotteries Board is they are a contributor to the organization. I have always felt that any sport or any endeavor that gives an opportunity to our sportsmen should not come up with a big flag waving thing when they win medals, i.e. what just happened with us, our relay team.
Yeah.
I always feel that the corporate citizen is important. So without naming anybody, I do want to ask you if the Cycling Federation has been the recipient of meaningful corporate support, which is to say our corporate citizens are indeed living up to their obligations of what we would expect of them.
Well, to simply answer that question is no. And we know that has always been the challenge with sport in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's we call them bandwagoners, right? So you win a medal, they're on board. Fortunately for us this time we have the support of NLCB, who what we try to do is partner with our sponsors. We offer you an opportunity to be our partners, and we try to give you back a benefit, not just a donation. We're not asking for donations, we're asking for partnership. And these are the things that we, and it has become, we understand the economic situation of Trinidad and Tobago and the world, but in that whole situation, we need to also understand that there's opportunity, the opportunity to showcase your brand, and showcasing your brand when we have 20-something, over 20 countries here, that media personnel come from all these countries, your brand is going to be exposed all over the Pan-American region.
You see, we can spend the time sitting down here and just talking about the meet and talking about, this is another meet and then next year we'll have another meet. But there's a reality here. The reality here is that nothing is going to excel without support. Exactly. And it is one thing for folks to be the bandwagoners, as you call them accurately. It's another thing for them, in fact, to be real corporate citizens. Yeah. Corporate citizens mean that you step in, you find this endeavor, because the same people who are patronizing your business are the same people who you'll be supporting. The same environment you want to have good business, which is to say not to have crime, etc., etc. Then you've got to support the avenue to stop the crime, which is to give them a place to put out. And as far as possible, I will keep calling out the corporate Trinidad and Tobago to get involved in situations like this, because not doing that means that we're going to get the very few who pursue in spite of and succeed. And after they have succeeded, because there is no really encouragement for them, they may get a contract elsewhere and they're gone.
Correct.
Yeah, but what we found out, right? And it's very, something disheartening to know that if you don't know the chairman and the board of a particular organization, you just don't even get the opportunity to have a say. And that is sad. It's really sad. We have reached out to so many sponsors for this event. This is the biggest cycling event that will ever happen on this side of the world, in the Caribbean. And we got so many turndowns. It could really be depressing.
It does raise a question to me. Either you or the PR or somebody will answer this question. As far as contributions to an organization like yours, is it tax deductible?
Of course it is.
Yes.
Of course it is. If you put 100%, you get back 150% of your corporation tax.
A rhetorical question meant to shame.
Yeah, and sometimes I understand what these accountants in these firms are doing. Are you expressing these things? Your financial controllers, are you expressing these things to your board?
Exactly. Exactly.
If you have some cash, then let's make some more and take it out of your taxes. The government made it very clear, up to $3 million, right? And and sometimes they think, well, they're gonna give sport a donation. We're not asking for donations. We're asking for partnership. We have benefits that we could give back to you. that we could share with you and grow the sport and make better people in Trinidad and Tobago, and make our country proud.
Either because there's not that corporate citizenship concept, one, or the Board of Inland Revenue is not doing a good enough job and people are happy just slipping by, so they don't need a tax deduction. Or hint, hint. Because it just eludes me to understand why is it folks don't see the overall social implication of supporting something like this. Talk to me about your cycling federation, however, specifically Roxanne. In case you just locked into us, you're listening to Brunch. It's 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. My two guests are Mr. Robert Faria, who is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation, and Roxanne Ramnath, who is the PRO of said organization. The question of outreach to young folks. It is one thing that we know this is a wonderful opportunity. I applaud what your organization has been resolved to continuing. There is, however, the issue of your organization having to reach out a little further. What sort of outreach endeavors do you have where you go into these communities and try to reach and pull young people into a different way and a different place to express their energy? Yeah,
well, as I mentioned before, that there are a lot of clubs around the country. Let's say for instance, Arima Wheelers and Maria Wheelers, they are in the eastern side of the country, and they use they have the coaches who have open doors for young cyclists wanting to start using their energy otherwise, and also excel in an exciting sport as cycling, because in cycling the first big opportunity you have is to own a bike. A lot of young people right now, their first challenge is they want to ride a bike, and when they get that opportunity, it's when they get involved in cycling, it's like, hey, I want to race. When they get that opportunity. Apart from Arima, we have another club in South, that's Rick Texonics. We have in Central, we have in the West, and there is opportunities and there are outreach programs. But we also continue to encourage these clubs to to have a developmental program for young people to come in and to get involved in the sport.
In that area, Mr. President, what sort of cooperation and what kind of liaising you have with fellow cycling organizations in the Caribbean and internationally that assist in sending people as far as the coaching and so on, and transfer of technology and different ways of approaching this?
Well, I'm glad we're going down that road, because one of the things that is going to be happening at this championships is that we're going to have the president of the UCI, which is the governing body of the sport for the world. He's going to be here. His interest is really developing a training center for the Caribbean in Couva, right? So that is a discussion we're going to be having. So we're actually opening up the facility in Couva for all of the Caribbean to develop their sport. Right. That being said, they already donate 16 bikes from the UCI to us, 10 road bikes and 6 track bikes that we can use for development of young athletes in Trinidad.
Good. I'm hoping that the corporate citizenship heard us this morning, and of course they will step in and assist. I'm always reluctant. I'm happy, for instance, Roxanne said we've got all these groups in different areas. And I would like folks in their different communities to support these organizations, because one of the things we find happening is that everybody say, okay, it's the Cycling Federation responsibility. Why is this not done? No, they are arms, they are branches. Work with the branches, it makes the tree strong. For the same reason everybody say the government should do this and the government can do that. No, they are branches in this country that make up the government. By the way, folks for some reason think that the government is a foreign entity. We are the government. So at the end of the day, unless we have a full understanding of everyone doing their part, Cycling Federation is not going to be supported. The kids will not have another avenue to express frustration. It is a collective reach, and I think we have to take it like this.
I just want to add this, right? We have a program in Arima Velodrome, right, that is run by Madonna Wheeler Cycling Club. And I urge you, Arima businessman. I am from Arima. And I can tell you, I've seen the velodrome in Arima from when it was just a cycling track to Arima Velodrome, and I'm not that young. Okay, I saw Roger Gibbons, and thank you for the compliment of looking that good, right? For my
Thank
age.
you for the support.
Right? But I urge your rumor businessmen to come out and support the kids in this program. This program happens every Saturday morning from 9 o'clock. We have the coaches there that go out and do it, volunteer service to these kids. So, and every kid at Christmas time wants their parent to buy a bike. Yeah. Every kid. Think back as small as when you're 2 years old, they buy you a tricycle. And then you get a little bigger, they buy you a bicycle with training wheels. And then you move into, the teenage years, and then they buy you this mountain bike.
Yes.
So every kid wants to ride a bike. And we are creating that opportunity. Come and ride a bike on a Saturday morning in Arima Velodrome in Skinner Park with Rick Texonics, and we have that opportunity to make better kids, in the country. And corporate Trinidad, come out and support. We're almost begging.
Individuals can do it too, because at the end of the day, a lot of folks who are better off than other folks live in communities, and instead of thinking that you cannot do anything, you can buy a bike. Buy a bike, find a kid, and adopt a kid, for instance, and then take him across to this branch we talked about, which is the local organization, and start to do it that way. Let us get a little naked on the promotion. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, that's the interject, right? That's you don't even need to buy a bike. We have bicycles there in the velodrome and Skinner Park. All you need to do is come and ride it.
Yes.
All you need to do is bring the kids to ride it. You will get a bike to ride.
And
at least a beginner bike.
And the good thing about it is that there's also a youth championships that we have every year. So these young cyclists can also excel when they get involved and they ride these youth championships. And when they get medals at that level, it brings on a different excitement in them that they want to excel. And from youth championships, we have new champions right about now.
The onus now is on the parent to bring the kids, right? And
Correct.
this is at the velodrome, is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yes.
That velodrome at Skinner Park. We have the new track in Faria that Rick Texonics is using as a development for the cyclists down in the southern area.
Give me your website one, and then give me the good old telephone number. How folks can find out information.
It's a TT Cycling Federation.
TT Cycling Federation.
Federation.org.
TT Cycling Federation, or just go up to Google and put TT Cycling.
Yes, anyway, and they'll get the website.
And the telephone number.
And the telephone number, the office is 225-4886, extension 162.
225-4886.
Yes, and that is our office number at the Balmain Couver National Cycling Center.
Let's do the wrap-up party, and the wrap-up part is to remind them of this exciting opportunity we have for what you are stepping into, which is part of the reason we're here, the Elite Pan American Track Championship. Remind us of the dates, the people who will be there, and where they can get tickets, equally important.
Right, so it's on the 30th of August to the 3rd of September. The admission fee is $50 in the evening sessions, and 65 and over, you can get a free ticket once you walk with your ID. Tickets are available at the cycling office Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. And then you have other venues, which are Mike's Bikes in Ariapita Avenue. We have Geronimo's Cycling Shop in Woodbrook, Port of Spain, Biking in Tunapuna and Vista Bella. We have Open Road in Vista Bella. We also have Motorcycle, etc. In Cunupia. Picture Image Limited. They are in High Street, Cyperia, and Ramsing Sports. They have tickets also, and Ramsing Sports is in Couver. So we have different areas in the country also that you can get your tickets for this fantastic event, and go out and purchase your ticket and come out and support the Red, White, and Black. This is Independence Weekend, so we're looking forward for the support also during this during that weekend.
Yes, indeed. I look forward to a lot of folks participating. This is a really good thing. Mr. President, one thing I just want our listeners to be very, very clear. TTCF is the only recognized governing body of cycling in the country?
That's correct. Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation is the governing body for cycling in Trinidad and Tobago.
And you're also associated with the International Federation. Which federation is this?
The UCI, which is the United Cycling International.
Pan American Cycling Organization.
Correct.
And so I thank you both for taking the time to be here this morning.
Thank you for having
we
us.
have passed on to our listeners that telephone number just again. I like to do the good old telephone number because not everybody's onto the internet, and half the time you talk on the radio and folks go like, I missed that. 225-4886. 225-4886. When you get there, you hit the extension
162.
162. All right. I'm going to say thank you so much for taking the time to join me, Mr. President, who is Robert Faria, and Madam PRO, Roxanne Ramnath. You both have a very wonderful Sunday. We will keep in touch. I know you had some tickets you were talking about giving away. We will talk about that because we can find some opportunity to do that a little later on, okay?
Thank you so much.
I spoke to her this morning in the final touch, and she goes like, oh, don't forget, we've got some tickets to take care of. Okay. Okay. 10:31 on time. Thank you both so much for being inside of here.